All the cool kids are wearing this get-up these days. Okay, people, today let's take a quick look at the Diamond Select Marvel Select Crimson Dynamo. Now, I do not collect Marvel Select proper, at least. You know what I mean? I don't buy every release. I only cherry pick the figures that'll fit into my 1/12 display that'll go along with my Marvel Legends. And they've released a surprising amount when it comes to that. I mean, yes, Marvel Select is cool if you do 7-inch scale and want to put it with other 7-inch scale lines, but you know me. I've always been a 6-inch guy. Looking at the package, it's what we're used to with Marvel Select. There is a whole lot of window going on here. A whole lot of window. You gotta have your branding. There's Marvel Select. Crimson Dynamo. The Crimson Dynamo! Oh, it's hidden down there. Warning, choking hazard, small parts. Don't stuff the oversized action figures in your mouth. On the back, you get a bio along with the pretty promotional shots that came along when it was solicited. One proof of purchase for whatever reason. And then on the other side, the bookend, that if you collect these carded, you can just put these on shelves. There's another promotional shot. Oh wait, I forgot about the bottom. More window. And it's essentially just blister carded. New paint smell. That's weird. It's been a while. Look at that handsome devil. A twist tie in 2024. Okay, when I think about Crimson Dynamo, there are 3 important factors that I need in my action figure. 1, red. And that one's pretty easy. 2, these segmented rings around the shoulders, the forearms, and the shins. And 3, a sexy bald bearded head. No, this wasn't on my wish list until Diamond showed it off, and when I saw it, I thought, okay, you got me. I'm in. Well, that and the fact I've been wanting a classic Crimson Dynamo for a long, long time. I'd started customs in the past, several different base bodies, got some 3D prints from people, but I knew that while they looked nice in the beginning, that I wasn't going to be able to live up to my own expectations. So when pre-orders went up, I was there, day one, boom. Now I mentioned the red, and in my head, I do feel like it could be a little bit more crimson-y, a little bit more deeper red, closer to true red, but at the same time, I am really, really liking this metallic red. It's got a sheen to it. It's got a shine. It looks like a suit of armor. But that's also true because of the metal-looking sculpt details, like this chest plate. There's the angular lines for the pecs. There's these vents of whatever thing. I don't know the technical aspects of Crimson Dynamo. The crotch cover, again, sharp edges, looking all metallic. This part too. There's some rings around the knees that are part of the separate pieces. But again, this is the big aspect for me. This is iconic Crimson Dynamo. I don't know what the hell the tubes are. Maybe he shoots things out or whatever. But then you get to here and it just big cogs. It just makes them look tough. It broadens the body. Then you have those rings around the elbows too. Maybe break points in the armor that really just looks like a red bodysuit in a lot of places because of the musculature. But again, that's classicness. Down to the fact that he's actually wearing shorts with some lines up on top of it. Same thing down on the feet, kind of Iron Man-ish, now that I think about it. The hands have a knuckle guard where the fingers come out of the plate armor. Abs, yeah, going all the way up and under. And then the neck ring for extra coverage, you know, to protect your neck. Couple of stuck joints though. Right out of the package, the left and the right thigh swivels were not moving at all. And they both look like this with the musculature just barely off. I was able to free up the right thigh joint by shimming it back and forth, opening it up a little bit, and then finally it just kind of came free. But the left I've heated up, I've pried, I've shimmied, I've shaked, I've tried to get it loose, but it will not budge. And then the ankles have a swivel side to side. The right one's free, obviously, but the left only has a little movement to it. I don't want to push it too far because it feels like a small peg going up in there. I don't want to snap that off. But it is facing forward, so that's a good thing. And the knee has a swivel to it. Going over articulation, there is well, we can find out because this head comes off. There is a dumbbell joint at the top of the neck. There's up, there's down, there's tilt for days, can look left and right, all over the place. The shoulder pad is a separate piece that rings around the pin coming out to the shoulder. There's a cutout under the arm, so if you're just wanting to rotate all the way around, it's the whole assembly. Then the hinge allows the arm to come out to here. Swivel at the bicep, hinge and swivel at the elbow, and this is probably the most disappointing part of this figure. That's it. That's all the movement from there to there. It rotates though, but so does the bicep. So, swivel at the wrist with a hinge in and out. I thought maybe the dumbbell at the mid-torso would need some customizing, but no, it has fairly nice crunch, and then arc back and tilt and rotation. There's also a swivel at the belt line. Ball coming out to the hip, swings up to here and back and then out. Oh man, that beats a lot of Marvel Legends. Better than some Spider-Mans. Like I mentioned, thigh swivel, the right side moves, the left doesn't yet. Hinge swivel at the knee swings back this far, which isn't the greatest, but it's better than the elbow. Then that rotates in and out. Swivel at the ankle with a hinge that goes back, goes forward, and then a front-facing pin for rocker. For accessories, there are 2 fists. Let's see how these... Oh, not bad at all. It holds in. There's a nice snap to it, but it also comes out easily. There's 2 grip hands, 2 splayed out hands, and 2 flat hands that have some kick-ass effects to them. The energy effect is attached to the hand. It doesn't come off. Well, I'm sure you could pry it off. It seems to be 2 different pieces of plastic. But if his hand is in this position, I am okay with it having this red translucent energy shooting out of it because it looks amazing. But if Dimitri's in a fight and shooting this much, he's gonna need a helmet. And swapping the head out with the helmet, oh, there is the cherry on top. That extra detail work running up and over the side down to the brim. But if this look isn't for you, the faceplate pops off. There's 2 pegs on the sides and you can plug this one in. And this is more my mental image of Crimson Dynamo because I think this is how he looked in the handbooks. He may have been a little thicker there, but ooh, that completes it for me. This is the Crimson Dynamo I wanted for my shelf. We're not done. Pop that off again and there's a 3rd faceplate with another energy beam shooting out of it. That's some firepower. I love that it's not shooting out symmetrically. These poking out here, one is up and out this way and the other one's down and out this way. Okay, here's the biggie. Literally. Crimson Dynamo stands at about 7 7/8 inches tall, which is still dwarfed by the Marvel Select Titanium Man somehow. This figure is crazy big, but crazy awesome. I still use it in my 1/12 display because Titanium Man is supposed to be huge. Crimson Dynamo being somewhere between Titanium Man and Mafex Iron Man or the Marvel Legends Silver Centurion, I am okay with that. And here it is side by side with those 2 Iron Mans just to alleviate any doubts, to give you a better look. Here it is next to a more modern style Marvel Legends figure and then the Mezco 1/12 collective version. It's pretty much eye to eye with the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Crimson Dynamo. Much more modern take. I had nothing against it, but now that I have this, he will be standing with my Winter Guard. Well, okay, I did customize Ursa Major into Grizzly, so out he goes. And I'll be using the Memory Toys Warbear as Ursa Major. Look how it balances things out. Big old Titanium Man, big old bear on this side. Yeah, he has some battle damage, but I can live with that. Now, Hasbro, Diamond. Let's finish up this team somehow. So at the end of the day, it's a big Crimson Dynamo, and I love every inch of it. Yes, it is big, and if you're really into scale, if you cannot stray away from numbers in a handbook or online, then this isn't for you. Unless it does match the numbers that you have found, because I went searching and couldn't really see any hard evidence that there's an exact height listed for this exact armor. Dimitri seems to be 6 foot tall and then 6.5 foot with the armor sometimes, but then there's also listings that show up to 8 foot. And when you look at it that way, then yes, this will fit into a 1/12 scale or 7-inch scale or wherever you want to put it, because what it breaks down to is it's a kick-ass looking Crimson Dynamo. That's all that really matters. And I get it. Maybe you're a super fan of Winter Guard or Crimson Dynamo. If it were X-Men or a character that I grew up with that I absolutely love and have followed throughout the years, then yes, I would want that exact height. Well, I don't know. I say that. As I've gotten older, I've gotten a bit more lenient when it comes to exact size and scale. If I enjoy the figure, even with downfalls, then hey, that's a win in my book. That's worth my money. That makes me happy. And that's all I'm looking for. This makes me happy. Especially teamed up with the rest of the figures that I'm going to display them with. Ooh.